Jimmy on the beat, boy. Jimmy on the beat, boy. Jimmy on the beat, boy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gin College Podcast. I'm your host, John J. II, here again for another episode. Here with Branden Smith. Smitty, talk to me, buddy. How you doing? How you feeling?
Hey, feeling well, feeling great. Good to see you. How we been?
Been great, man. It's been a great week. College football is back, as everybody knows. NFL is back. Fantasy teams are looking good. Going into week 4, college football. It's here. It's here. We know it's here. We're getting accustomed. We're getting settled in. And there's a sense of comfortability that we're starting to achieve. And it feels very quick to say that we are in week 4 already. It's crazy. The season will be here and gone before we know it. I guess, where are you feeling? Where are you in the state of college football that we're in, the settling in, the betting side of it, looking at Vegas? Everyone's getting settled in. Everyone's getting accustomed. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, not quite. Slightly settling, I suppose. We got our teams, we got our contenders, we got our conferences. Getting to conference play. Speaking of, so it's week 4, week 5 for some clubs. I can't really say we're all settling in, but we're getting an idea of what teams to look out for and what teams are just hot garbage. So it's exciting. We're in week 4, week 5. Looking forward to this weekend.
Definitely. This episode is brought to you by Zyn, everybody. So for all my nicotine users out there, Zyn is a great option for you that smoke, vape, whatever. Used to be me back in the day. Used to be a vapor out there back in the day. And then I thought about it. I don't want to be 40, 50 years old ripping a breeze. I just don't want to. So we switched to Zyn. We feel great. Got to throw that in there. So we got to talk about Michigan. Obviously, Jim Harbaugh, he's coming back. Cheeseburger Gate is here and gone. Hopefully this is the end of it, because I've said this publicly. I've stated it publicly multiple times on this show. Jim Harbaugh is one of my favorite coaches in college football, if not my most favorite, just because of his poise, his aspirations, his history with the college, with the school. his track record in all realms of football, NFL, college. And this is exciting for Michigan fans to see Harbaugh coming back. How does this affect Michigan? How does this assist them going into week 4? Is this a good thing for them to have their coach back? I think it is. Where do you stand on this?
I mean, it's a great thing. It's even better for JJ, especially since we've seen his woes like last week when he had 3 interceptions against Bowling Green, a MAC school. So just having the big dog back on campus, back in on the sidelines during crunch time, during game time, it's tremendous. I mean, hats off to him for serving his suspension. But yeah, it's huge, and especially for our quarterback JJ, who is just, I mean, what a terrible game for him in the passing route. So, it's great to have him back. I'm not sure what it was like for him during the weeks of practice, but when it's game time, you got a quarterback out there maybe throwing an interception. You got Harbaugh there to get in his ear and say, "Hey, look, listen, kid, figure it out," type stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it. We got Rutgers at home, 12 o'clock game. Can't say I'm really worried about Rutgers, but if JJ if he plays like he did last week, I mean, we got to somewhat worry about it. I mean, even if JJ threw 3 interceptions, I think we're okay. But all in all, happy to have Harbaugh back on the sideline.
Yeah, a little bit concerning there against Bowling Green. Couple scares early at the big house. Didn't expect that. You really didn't expect to see that from JJ, very seasoned quarterback at the college level. But I think it was mostly bumps in the road that they had to get over. They found their way and they got the W. Hopefully, this is the be all end all for Jim Harbaugh and everything. I think that the self-imposed suspension, it might have been preliminary. It might have been something to kind of send a message to the NCAA saying, "Hey, we're taking acknowledgement. We know that there was errors that occurred. There was faults that were made, and we're taking advantage of that and being proactive about it." So it looks like they got their club back. No harm, no foul, no scars or blemishes on the record as of yet. So they're hoping for big things down there in Ann Arbor. So we're expecting to see that in the coming weeks and against Rutgers especially.
Johnny, I think it was more just like a spat in the face at the NCAA saying, "Hell with you guys, we'll let him sit it for your BS, joke of allegation, all this and that." So I'm glad he did it. Hoorah! The 3 games against 60 opponents, no big deal. We're moving on. Here we are, Big Ten Conference, showing up at home against Rutgers. So we're there. We're gonna 4-0. Here we come.
Still big contenders for the college football playoff. Obviously, still in the 4-team format for 2023. We'll be doing away with that going into 24. So that's exciting news as well, just to kind of reemerge from that. And with the dissolving of the regions in the Big Ten too, that's going to play a role in the college football playoff for sure, with the rise of super conferences, mostly talking about the Big Ten and the SEC, which will also be doing away with their regions. So it's going to be interesting going into the future, and there's a lot of speculation with what's going to happen with the Pac-12 and other sub-conferences going into the future. So a lot to look forward to, a lot to keep in mind going into the 2024 season. But we still in 2023,
Sayonara.
so we got to manage that.
Sayonara to the Pac-12. I mean, see you later. Nice knowing you. History in the books. It's going to be dusty in a couple years. But yeah, see you later.
And I want to go back to the first episode of this season too, because the first episode, we had a little bit of a mix-up. Okay, we had the Big 12, the Pac-12, and it's just like too many 12s going on, too many closely named conferences. And I got a little bit pissed off, got a little bit heated on the stream with Cody. And it wasn't at Cody. It was more or less at the classification of the conferences. I know there's history there and things like that. It could be a personal issue, but I'm still going to let everyone know about it. So it seems like the message was in the stars for the Pac-12 to begin its dissolution. So we're seeing it happen right before our eyes. And what can I say? We're not surprised.
Hey, it's all part of history. Things change, and change is good. So, with landscape changing for playoffs, with the media deals and whatnot, I mean, it is what it is. But I'm glad we're not like Apple TV trying to get subscriptions and whatnot to watch college football. The hell with those guys, okay? Come on.
Definitely. And that plays a big role, a lot bigger role than people might realize, is the TV deals that these conferences are signing with certain outlets and certain networks. People are flocking to, hopefully, and I think this is the case, and it should be the case, local television. That's what we should be flocking to, and that's the deals that should be aspired to have. Obviously, ESPN is going to be in there too, and you're going to have some games on ESPN Plus, and obviously you got the Longhorn Network, which is kind of a burr on my side. But
Commish, we're going down a rabbit hole that we go on for a whole hour talking about. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Those TV deals, all this and that. Oh my goodness, what a debacle.
It's a debacle. Let's move on. Let's talk about Mel Tucker. So Mel Tucker has, it's broken news. He is officially terminated. He is parting ways with East Lansing. There is it's a scandal within itself. And it's a complicated thing to unpack. It's a big package. It's like a big present you get on Christmas. It's a lot to unpack. And he has a bone to pick with the university, and that is going to be a scandal within itself as far as how that's sorted out. How does this affect Michigan State, if at all, with Mel Tucker being absent?
I mean, what an embarrassment. What a downright embarrassment to give a coach an extension like that, to pay a coach money like that. East Lansing's had its problems, just so terrible to hear about, and then you got this guy just doing the worst, and it's just like, what the hell? I mean, what is going on? What are we doing, Mel Tucker? And it's sad. It's sad news for the university. That's pretty prestigious. It's had its podium with Mike D'Antonio. This guy comes in, has one solid year, and gets an extension. Now this transpires, and now you just have an embarrassment for the state, Michigan State there. Fortunately for the school, they still have Tom Izzo. And I know that's basketball, but he's on his way out too, probably. In a couple years, guys got to retire. But the thing is, hey, I'm a Michigan fan. Can't say I'm upset because recruits in the state of Michigan, they might come over to the big house instead of going over to lousy East Lansing. Now it's just so sorry. And now they got the white horse riding in, and Mike D'Antonio coming back, hoping to save the day. And I just don't think it's happening. What a rough season the Spartans are going to have. Very rough.
Yeah, well, I had a bone to pick too when Mark D'Antonio made his exit. When he made his exit and kind of took the money and ran. He was like a bandit in the Wild West. Took the money and ran. And that didn't bid well with me. Even though he was on his way out, he was kind of towards the back nine. He was actually probably on the fairway on hole 17 in his career at Michigan State. And if you notice, and I might have stated this on a previous show, he was very visible, whether it was on the sidelines, whether it was at basketball games at the Breslin, whether it was at tailgates. He was very present. So I think he had some, he felt bad, I think, about how he left, but I don't think that really glosses things over. There was no public apology made. His exit really didn't warrant a solid legacy, and it didn't warrant the solid legacy that he did leave or would have left. Could he have left earlier and maybe got out of there and did a skinny juke and say, hey, I'm done. It was a fun ride, had a hell of a ride with you guys, and got out of there. Probably could have. Did he overstay his welcome? Maybe. And I don't know. I just think it's hard to see him on the sidelines now, whether he has a headset or not. He might be pulling a Brady Hoke with no headset on, but it is what it is. And I think just to have some security there on the sidelines isn't going to be bad. You got Harlan Barnett there too. That's going to be holding the rope for him, and just bad display against Washington. So that's going to be, you got to pick up the pieces there. You got another home game this weekend against Maryland. It's going to be a long road ahead as far as recovery goes for Michigan State, and they've had some rough patches. So this is another one. It's another hurdle. So they got to get over it.
I gotta say kudos to you for the Michigan jab there with mentioning Brady Hoke. Love that. That's just great. Way to get it in there. Way to fit it in there. Try to smear a little bit of this Michigan State jambalaya.
I wasn't even a jab.
I mean, I can't say we're too. I can't believe you're upset. I mean, Mark D'Antonio. I'm sorry. He could have stayed away. He could have stayed far away. But he has so much pride, so much respect for the university there. He came back. He's riding in, and he's trying to salvage what Tucker did to this team. So you guys should be getting on your hands and knees and just kissing his feet, saying thank you for coming back.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. If he is there to pick up the pieces, then so be it. I think that's the university's call. And at the end of the day, hopefully there's a council within the coaches, coordinators, et cetera, the higher ups that can make an informed decision on the future of Michigan State. But it's not looking good right now. So we're going to hold true and we're going to ride with them. Sparty on as always. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Let's move on. Let's talk about. Gotta stay Spartan Dogs. I mean, it's my alumni. I'm an alumni there. It's my alma mater, and I gotta stand by them. Through thick and thin.
Yep, gotta fight.
Right on. Gotta fight. Moving on, let's talk about Colorado and Coach Prime. They get away with another skinny one against Colorado State at home. Got a lot of pros, got a lot of big time alumni in the building. Does Coach Prime have the it factor? That's a question that came into my mind, and it's came up in interviews, and he has claimed that he has it. But I think that's a tough claim to make, being him. So does he have the it factor? And if so, how is that going to impact the Colorado Buffaloes?
Well, I don't know if you've been watching TV lately, but yeah, he has the it factor. Coach Prime is it. They skin of their teeth got by Colorado State after all that hype, after being 24.5-point favorites. I mean, it's Coach Prime. It's Deion Sanders. It's prime time, man. I mean, the guy is tremendous. He's taken Colorado by storm, taking college football by storm. He's the most talked about guy in the country, and probably the whole entire atmosphere of the earth we live on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, Colorado barely got by Colorado State. I mean, holy smokes, are they fortunate? They lost Travis Hunter, through it all, through before halftime, losing that guy. So, look, their future's bright. Deion Sanders, who wouldn't want to play for the guy, right? The guy, I mean, he's tremendous. Could you imagine having Deion Sanders come to your house? Your mom and dad are sitting down. You got Deion Sanders across from the table. This guy's an all-time multi-professional, baseball and football. And he's saying, I want your son to come play for me. Okay? All the NIL deals, just the coaching, the staff, everything. So Colorado, they're fighting this year. They've taken the landscape by storm, but I think it's going to be a rough couple of weeks. They have Oregon away, 12 o'clock game. Or is that? No, I'm sorry. That's a 3:30 game there, our time. And I think they're going to get murdered. I think they're going to get murdered. As long as Bo Nix plays well. But yeah, Deion Sanders definitely has an it factor.
I just don't know what it is, man. I think definitely Coach Prime in that last game, he earned some points with me because I saw the resiliency. I saw the trials, the tribulations. I saw him face adversity. And you get the still shots of him, and even got the videos where he's on the sidelines, and he's they're down to Colorado State at home. They're not feeling good. He's staying true. He's still making his calls, and he's letting a little bit of his body language shine through, but he's really doing his best to maintain control. And I think he did a great job at that. It's not like he hasn't been in a situation like that before in his playing career. But that was his first test, I would say, and you didn't really expect that. I mean, maybe you did. I kind of did expect it, but a lot of people didn't. And to see him face that in the face and to really take it head on and to hold true and to believe in his guys to get the job done, that was impressive to me. And I saw that Mamba mentality. He had mentioned, and others have mentioned, that Shedeur Sanders honed in. He summoned his inner Tom Brady, his TB12, to basically build that team and bring them back from the depths into a victorious state. Do you think Shedeur Sanders has the TB12 factor, and do you think that he can bring this team to a winning record this year?
To compare Shedeur Sanders to Tom Brady, I can't do that, especially not right now. As a kid, absolutely talented, 100% talented player, very, very talented. But like I said, by the skin of their teeth, did Colorado win this game. When you have a team that has 100-plus yards of penalties, when you have a team that has 9 more minutes in possession time, and they don't come out with the win, man, Colorado State is kicking themselves in the butt. But you know what they did? They exposed Colorado. They exposed that defense. And again, I mean, it's like Michigan with their three games they play. I know it's not completely the same, right? Colorado played some talent, played Nebraska, but again, now we're getting into the thick of it. Okay, we're really getting into the thick of it. The soup is thicker than hell. Someone didn't put the right ingredients in here. Colorado's got to play Oregon. Colorado's got to play USC. Okay, they just got exposed. Colorado State just put up 35. They went to double OT. All right, and these guys had 100 plus yards and penalties. Okay, so look, the Cinderella story, people talking about Colorado this, Colorado that, college football, playoffs. No, cut it. Quit it. Okay? 24.5 points. Okay? Barely won. Should have won probably. They played Colorado State. They barely won. Okay? So come this weekend over in Eugene. I can't wait to kick back, get some popcorn, and watch Colorado just get dominated. Again, as long as Bo Nix plays well, holy smokes, that Oregon team's going to just dance on their souls.
Yeah, I mean the Cinderella story is still alive. So if you're a Colorado Buffaloes fan, you're riding that train, and I don't blame you.
It's not. It's a Cinderella story. Jesus, if you're delusional, it's still alive. If you're delusional, no, it's done. It's over with. It's gone. Sayonara. Create that thing into a paper airplane. Throw it out your window. See you later. I'm telling you, man. I can't wait till they lose by 30 this weekend.
Jeez, man, you and a bunch of people, they were just riding Colorado like a horse, like you're on the Montana ranch, Yellowstone. And now it's like, okay, well, we saw the true colors of Colorado. We're gonna kick them to the wayside here. What's up with that?
Oh, look, they had susceptible defense to begin with, but the thing is, when you have so much hype and you guys, you got players and the Sanders brothers talking about, oh, why is Jay Norvell talking about my dad, this and that, and then they show up at home and they don't blow them out. All this hype, all this blah blah blah, and then the outcome is what it is. I'm embarrassed to even say that I was on Colorado. I thought they at least covered by 20. Not even close. And that was a teaser spread.
Too, ladies and gentlemen. So it is what it is. I mean, that's college football. Alternative spread, teaser spread. You're comparing apples to apples.
It's tough. When you guys got when you have people like the Dwayne the Rock Johnson, you got Quavo, you got Lil Wayne, you got all these people on the sideline. I mean, it's really. I mean, I couldn't imagine what those kids are going through, the feelings they're experiencing. I could not even imagine. You got Dwayne the Rock Johnson, you got Quavo, you got Lil Wayne coming out. I mean, holy smokes, the pressure. Hey, they might show up. This weekend, but I really don't think so. And neither does Las Vegas.
Vegas definitely doesn't think so. We're going to be talking about that game in a little bit. But people are riding the Buffaloes. They're riding Colorado. They're riding Coach Prime, and for good reason. Right? I see it. I get it. I'm just not ready to jump ship and drink the Kool-Aid yet. That's just where I'm at. And that's where I have been since the beginning. And I'm not saying I'm not a Coach Prime guy. I'm not a hater of Coach Prime. I like what he's doing. I like what he's accomplished. Obviously, his playing career speaks for itself. But the proving grounds stage has yet to occur. And we're going to see that this week.
Yeah. Well, not to completely sound like sound like a complete hater. I'm really looking forward to watching the Colorado next year, especially when they get some more talented recruits. When Travis Hunter stays, when Shadir stays, when these players stay, they get a little more talented, they get some experience on this higher level. I mean, Colorado put themselves on the map as they have been, but I mean, they're going to be a team to look out for in these upcoming years, especially with the expansion of the college football playoffs. Okay, they're going to be in it. Probably next year. If not next year, I mean, I'd be surprised if they're not competing next year. This year, I think it's a wash. I mean, they had a lot of hype, but I just don't see them doing much. I mean, they're not going to beat Oregon. They're not going to beat USC. It's just not, their defense is not there, okay? You can have a prolific offense, but if you can't stop a team, you can't stop Colorado State, you're not stopping the Oregon Ducks. You're not stopping USC. You're not stopping Texas, okay?
You bring up some fair points there. You mentioned Shadir Sanders, And we talked about him already. That's a big reason why Coach Primus came out and said, hey, I'm going to have my son stay here. And that is in light of these NIL deals. Does the NIL system, does that favor college athletes staying in college, staying at the university compared to declaring for the draft? Does that keep them at the college level at least until their junior year? Or do you think that has no effect?
I love NIL deals. It's tremendous. It's great for college. It's great for the athletes. It's an incentive. Yes, absolutely. All around, yes. Give me the NIL deals. Give them to the players. Let them stay. Let them make a couple million. Holy smokes, there's so much money. So much money out there. It's ridiculous. Okay? These kids are putting on a show. This is a business. We all know it's a business. And finally, the players are able to make some money. Okay? And, they stay an extra year. God forgive, or please God don't let these kids get hurt to begin with. But now they got some change in their pocket. Okay, it's jingling around, right? Donald Duck's cousin or uncle, whatever one. Who is that? Which one is it?
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck, his Uncle Scrooge. Uncle Scrooge, yes, Uncle Scrooge. He just loves the money, right? Give me it. Okay, kids like Shadur, who's Travis Hunter. Okay, the Horn, that wide receiver Horn. I just hope that it blosters for these players, that they're able to make some money, stay a couple years, get better, mature, get better at the game. It's only gonna benefit the NFL. Okay, you're gonna be getting players that are coming out of the draft. They're ready to play. They're ready to go. Obviously, the NFL is a lot faster, a lot bigger, but these kids are gonna stay in college. They're gonna get better, get stronger, get faster, and they're gonna make some money at the same time. All about it.
This was a big talking point going back a couple years ago. The NIL is a very new thing. And we were speculating because before that it was no, can't pay the college kids anything, can't pay the athletes nothing. They're college students. They're getting their education. And that was the priority. So with the rise of NIL deals, is it keeping players at the university level, at the college level? Yes, I would agree. And I think we're seeing more positive effects from NIL deals than negative effects that we did expect to see. We did expect to see, essentially, quote unquote, the money going to their head before they really have the real money, the real shot, the real contract with the NFL if they are blessed enough to go to the next level. And let's be honest, most of these kids that are getting these NIL deals are going to go to the next level. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting NIL deals. That's just the case in point. So I'm seeing a lot of benefits. I'm seeing a lot of pros rather than cons. And I think that's a good thing for college football, college sports. And, social media is very prevalent. Obviously, it can have its downsides. It can pose its downsides. But I think we're seeing a lot more positives than we are negatives. So I think it's a good thing to keep the college kids at the college level, to develop the team, develop the program, allow the team to transition and essentially reach their full potential without the players leaving. Obviously, the transfer portal is always going to be there. It's always going to be a deterrent from building the program. If a player wants to transfer, they're going to transfer. That's just the bottom line. That's how it's going to be. But if a kid is happy at the university, they're less likely to enter the transfer portal. They still could, but transfer portal is always going to be there, and it's looking in your window while you're sleeping, basically. So things to think about, important dynamics of the college football system. It's all about building the program, making your college a place where kids and athletes, 5-star recruits, want to go, because that's the most important thing. We'll let that sit for a little bit.
It's a controversy, no matter how you chop it up. It's a controversy for sure. But yeah, now deals, they're 50-50, man. It can be unhealthy. They can be unhealthy. They can be healthy. I mean, it's a world that you and I have little knowledge of. We just know that there's deals, there's money involved, and there's players. So
it's a conversation piece, if nothing else. Let's move on to our first game of the evening. Florida State at Clemson going into week 4. Obviously, big game. Clemson has faced some adversity. Florida State has faced some adversity, almost taking the L to Boston College, winning by 2 points. How are we feeling about this game? We're getting kind of into the college, the college scene with conference play and whatnot. These games are getting into the nitty-gritty. We're seeing spreads get lower. It's exciting. It's exciting. Do we take the bait? Do we not take the bait? It's a question that's as old as time. But let's just look at this game right now. Florida State at Clemson. Florida State -2, 12 p.m. this Saturday. How are we feeling about this game?
Yeah, I mean, Florida State barely getting by Boston College. Same thing like I kind of mentioned about Colorado State. Boston College had 131 yards and penalties, which is just horrific. But you got a talented Florida State team, talented Florida State offense with Travis, what's his last name there? Jordan Travis. I'm sorry, Jordan Travis there. But you got a Clemson team that lost first game of the week against Duke. They played well, had some miscues, had turnovers and whatnot. I just, man, my instincts tell me that Clemson's going to be able to pull this game out. Florida State, when you fight against Boston College, it's just really kind of a head scratcher. They're giving up almost, 270 yards passing. So it's really kind of putting on, question the quarterbacks. You got Jordan Travis and Cade Klubnik there. I just have a hard time, not taking Clemson at home, who was notorious at home at Memorial Stadium, just a really terrific team at home. And I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a war. And honestly, it really could go either way. But I got to lead with Clemson here, man. I got to go with the team that's with Dabo Swinney there. Just got to go with Clemson. I think it's going to be a war, but I like Clemson to just really squeeze this one out.
Yeah, Vegas is, at least on paper, they're favoring Florida State and the Seminoles, but you gotta, at a spread like 2, it might as well be nothing, because it might as well be an even spread, because it's just such a toss-up. Vegas doesn't know what's going to happen here. They're going to pick a side, obviously. You're going to take Florida State away at Clemson, showing more strength, showing less weakness than Clemson is. Cade Klubnik has faced adversity as well, but I think he's building off of that. He's building off those trials and tribulations that he faced early, and he's going to do his thing, I think, to grow and develop. He's got a great coaching core there at Clemson. So it's a toss-up, no matter how you look at it. Does Clemson pull the win off at home? Yeah. We would like to think so. They're a win-now program. I'd like to still consider them to be a win-now program, but can they show up? Can they play?
I mean, what an itchy game. I mean, this game's will give you nightmares at night thinking about it. I mean, you got Jordan Travis and Keon Coleman over there. Jordan Travis, just a tremendous quarterback, just dual threat. And it's just like, holy smokes. This is one of those games where you don't even put in your bet slip. You just say, you know what? Give me some popcorn. Give me some Cheetos. Give me a chair that kicks up, the feet kick up. Give me some dumbbells, just anything to watch this game and just have a good time. I mean, I'm out there just rooting for either team, just to bite each other's heads off. Just have a hell of a game. I want Florida State to win this game, but after fighting against Boston College, it's just like, wow, was that an overlook? I mean, is Florida State were we overlooking last week our first road game? Maybe. I know I mentioned Clemson. I think Clemson going to squeeze this one out, but honestly, man, I don't know, John. I tell you, I don't know.
I'm going to ride. I don't mean to fade you here. I don't want to fade you here, but I'm going to take Florida State -2. And I believe in Jordan Travis. I believe in Keon Coleman, the Spartan. I do, and I saw what they're capable of. And I mean, it's all come. And Smitty, we've talked about this a million times. If you show up and you play the game, you're probably going to win. If you don't show up, or a piece of your offense or defense doesn't show up, probably not going to win. We've seen anomalies. We've seen exceptions to the rule happen. But given the track record, yeah, if you can squeeze out the win against Boston College, I don't care if it's by 2 points, 1 point, whatever, field goal, then you're still getting a win in the win column. Does it throw up some red flags? Yeah, of course. I think that's why we see the spread. If they blew out Boston College, this would probably be a 7-point spread. Let's be honest. Since they didn't, we're seeing red flags. They're coming up, and the proof is in the spread. So, gotta wait and see. It's a good popcorn Cheeto game, 100%. And I think that's a good one. Might let it marinate. The spread is subject to change going into Saturday. It's still only Thursday, so look forward to this one changing, but not by much. Let's move on to Colorado and North. What? Go ahead.
I just bet it. I bet it squeezes down to a pick'em. I mean, it's already pretty much a pick'em, but I just it's gonna be a very.
It could.
Clemson's they're coming hungry. Those fans are gonna show up, and Florida State got week 1 LSU, and you say to yourself, well, LSU just dominated Mississippi State, just absolutely thrashed them. But if you think about that week 1 game with LSU, they really didn't play their best ball. And Florida State just came out of the pen like a bull. So it should be a good game. And I think Clemson has a lot. If they can win this game, it says a lot about the team. So
100%. Yeah, so I lost your audio. I don't know why I can't hear you now.
you lost me, huh?
Hold on.
I can't hear you. Affecting only on your end. Technical difficulties. Ooh, gotta catch that, McCaffrey. Can we get 7? Can we get 7 points here, guys, please?
All right, we're back.
What the heck's going on over there?
So, listen, you jump through the hoops.
Yeah. Hey, gotta fight through adversity.
You fight through adversity. Exactly. Coach Prime mentality. So basically, Florida State, Clemson is a pick'em game. Count on it being a pickup game, and just leave it at that. Let it marinate. Look forward to that spread.
Crack open the Mountain Dew, sit back, and enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'll probably kill a whole case of Mountain Dew this Saturday come noon. Let's move on to Colorado at Oregon. Obviously, talked about this game in brief detail beforehand. Colorado, Prime has the it factor. Oregon, I mean, you see it in the spread. The proof is in the spread, but not always. This game's at Oregon. How are we feeling about this game going into it? Both rosters are mostly healthy, I would say, and it's just it's a numbers game. But does Oregon? Here's the question: does Oregon cover 21 points? Because we know Colorado can't cover 21 against who? Colorado State. At least I think it was 24 actually when it closed. But does Colorado cover against Oregon, or does Oregon cover against Colorado? Just at face value. Don't have to dissect it too much. Don't have to dive too deep. Looking at the rosters, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I think, Shadur Sanders is going to have to do a whole lot more scrambling in this game, more scoring on his feet. I don't know, man. I don't know if Colorado can cover this game. I really do like the Ducks. I'm not a big fan of large spreads, but the Ducks just have a great passing offense. They got a lot of fast players in their wide receiver corps, and Bo Nix is out for the best season yet. I mean, he's looking to have a stellar season. So at home, you got a hungry team, and I want to see the Ducks cover the 21. I really do. But this is just a game where I'm gonna watch it, and I hope that Colorado gets murdered. I really do.
So looking at the passing yards, obviously you got to compare strength of schedules. You got to compare the matchups that have taken place. Obviously the win against TCU speaks for itself. TCU isn't the team they used to be. That has to be taken into account. But over 1,200 passing yards for Shadur Sanders, 10 TDs, 1 interception. Bo Nix right under 900 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's flawless on the year. But you gotta take into account the strength of schedules. Okay, really the only team that Oregon has played already is Texas Tech, and they're not the team that they used to be either. So looking at that at face value, I mean, I think this game, I really do, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I think that Colorado covers this game because I just don't see it being a blowout like people are expecting. And maybe it's going to be it could be a Jeffrey Dahmer crime scene, really. But I think if we take it at face value, and it all boils down to this. And you know what I'm going to say? Who's going to show up to play? Who's going to show up to play? Colorado didn't show up last week. They squeezed out the win. If Oregon shows up, it goes without saying, I think they win the game. But I think it's by 14 points or less. Could be wrong. I'm known for my hot takes. I'm known for my exceptional opinions. But you're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a battle of the offenses. Which defense is going to plunder? And who's going to shine? Who's going to shine? Who's going to be your shining stars? I think it's going to be a battle of the offenses, battle through the air. That's what we're expecting to see. And that's all you can really hope for.
Yeah, 21 points, that's a lot of points at 3 touchdowns. We're talking about, this Colorado team that's put up some points themselves. So I just think that the Ducks are they're gonna show up. They're gonna be ready to go. And Colorado might fight, but when you give them, like I said, 270 yards passing yards allowed for Colorado on the defense, and almost 200 yards rushing compared to the Ducks having 160 and 127. Yes, strength of schedule and whatnot. But again, putting that into the verbiage. Look, 418 yards passing for Colorado, 357 for Oregon. So yeah, it's kind of you look at the stats, and that's what we're getting in these week 4 games. You get a lot of these games where it's like, okay, you got teams that played nobody. Now they're starting. Now we got our games where it's like, okay, we're clashing. It's clashing the Titans here. What are we gonna get? But again, Colorado overhyped, just like last weekend being 24.5 favorites. Overhyped. Okay, they might cover 21, but I don't know. Not sure about it, but we'll see. The Ducks are definitely winning this game, no problem.
And you could make the argument overhyped, underpromised, but I think in this case, at least looking at the Colorado State game, you can't really say underpromised because they still got the W. They still squeezed out the win, no matter how ugly it looked. So yes, overhyped, maybe not overpromised. And I think that time will tell on that one. But you look at Oregon, they really haven't played anyone either. Texas Tech is really all they have. Okay, you're looking at Portland State and Hawaii is only. I guess you got North Carolina too. So that's a big win. Can't be discounted. But I think they're still in the proving ground stage, and they're still marinating as far as who are they made of, what are they going to be, and where is their ceiling? That's the biggest question. Where is their ceiling for both these teams? Where is their ceiling? Where do they finish off at? And good thing we've seen Colorado be tested because I think they're going to make some adjustments on defense. Let's just be honest. They're going to make some adjustments. Might even move some players up in the depth chart. There's a lot to be anticipated going into this one. So, got to expect the best.
Give me the Ducks minus 21.
Can't do it. I'm going to take Colorado plus 21. Smitty, again, don't want to fade you. I don't want to fade you.
No, fade me, please. Holy smokes. You don't give a shit. Fade me now. Who am I? Holy. I'm glad we're going against each other. Someone keep these records, okay? He's got Florida State. I got Clemson. He's got Colorado. I got the Ducks, okay? Let us know.
I have a feeling we're gonna have the same opinion on the next game. Ole Miss, Alabama, 3:30 game. The sun's in the peak height, the peak altitude. It's hot as hell outside. Down there in Tuscaloosa. What are we looking at in this game? Ole Miss, Alabama. Got SEC matchup here. How are we feeling?
Wow. Great matchup. Love this game. Love Lane Kiffin against Nick Saban. Nick Saban already lost to Sirianni. So I hope to see Ole Miss show up and beat these guys. Got Milroe coming back in as a starting quarterback. The kid's been fighting through the first, obviously didn't play last week. First 2 games, struggled. Played Texas, struggled, right, through 2 picks, I think it was. It really comes down to for me is does Ole Miss, does their offense show up? Does Jackson Dart, does he show up? Can these guys can they score on the defense, right? Alabama's still tough defensively, not a whole lot to show offensively. How's Milroe going to play? What's his confidence level like? Is he going to be able to sit in the pocket and throw the ball down the field against this suspect Ole Miss defense. Okay, so that's the question. Those are the headlines. Can Milroe stay in the pocket? Can he throw the football? Can he make some passes? Can he sit in the pocket? And can Jackson Dart and the Ole Miss offense keep up or show up? So that's my perception.
This could be a decision made based on experience. Obviously, Jackson Dart is going to hold the trophy there against Jalen Milroe, but Alabama's a win now program. Nick Saban's not a coach that likes to lose. Are they in a building phase? Yes. Can we make that argument that a lot of teams are in a building phase? Yes, we can. How are they going to overcome that? How are they going to get past that? It's not my worry. But I'm going to take Ole Miss with the points here. I feel good about it. I feel good about Jackson Dart playing in a hostile environment. Texas can do it. It might be a little more of a stretch for Ole Miss to do it, but I think they cover.
Yeah, it just really comes down to. I mean, I like Jackson Dart. I like Ole Miss. I like Lane Kiffin having an idea of Nick Saban's tactics and whatnot. And Lane Kiffin is a really good coach. He's gonna know. He knows that Milroe is vulnerable. So I'm hoping to see that Ole Miss defensive line get to the kid. Hopefully they can contain his legs. Ole Miss, I mean, they can get scored on. So we might see Alabama put some points up. It just depends. Again, Ole Miss got to show up, not turn the ball over, Jackson Dart, and just compete. Go out there, throw for your 349 yards on average, passing. Control the clock, control the pace, and show up on defense. Right, get to the Milroe kid, get to that freshman. So I'm with you. I like Ole Miss with the points.
Look at that. Look at us agreeing on a game. It's a sight to see. Take note of this, folks. Clip that, get an odd shot of it, and post it on your Facebook wall. Let's get to the last game here. Ohio State at Notre Dame. Obviously, this is my highlight game of the week. Ohio State being a win now program, finally putting up some points last week, and Western Kentucky. Sure, you can shrug them off, but Youngstown State. I'm not going to forget about Youngstown State. They didn't cover it, and Youngstown State covered comfortably in that game. They made some adjustments, and they wound up figuring it out against the Hilltoppers. But now they face a real opponent in Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, the Fighting Irish. I mean, we're looking at a tight spread here. We're looking at a field goal at Notre Dame. Ohio State's favored. This is a good game. This is going to be a great game. This is a game you're going to want to get your popcorn out for. So what are some face value speculations, observations that we're going to make on this game that you're looking at, that you're thinking about? And is this a good bet going into the weekend?
Well, you're talking about a win now program. That's Notre Dame, especially Notre Dame with Sam Hartman being a transfer from Wake Forest. This is going to be a great game. I mean, Ohio State did put the clamps on. They slapped Western Kentucky around. Their defense, Big Ten style, of course. Talk about two teams that really haven't played anybody. This is week 5 for Notre Dame, so they got an extra week of game time and game speed. This is gonna be a really good game. Can Notre Dame contain Marvin Harrison? What are we gonna do about this McLeod kid, or McCord? I mean, I really just, for the sake of football, I just want to see Sam Hartman go out there and play well. I'm a Michigan fan. I would love to see Ohio State lose this game. We got home field advantage. It's a 7:30 game. The crowd should be rocking. I heard Rudy was going to be there. So I mean, it's just. I mean, this has got Notre Dame written all over it as an underdog. Sam Hartman, 64 for 90 on the season, 1,000 yards passing, 13 TDs. You got some ballers out there. You got Marcus Freeman in his second year. These guys are excited. There's a lot going into this game. So Ohio State, they're a competitive team year in and year out. I just gotta take Sam Hartman here. I gotta take the guy that's been there, done that. I think Notre Dame is poised for a home victory to stay undefeated and to jump over Ohio State on the AP poll.
Well, you know me, and I don't like to bet with my heart, but in this situation, I have to, because I despise Ohio State, and I'm not a Michigan fan. Is it somewhat of a rivalry, at least historically, between Ohio State and Michigan State? Yes, it is. But I really have grown to admire the best rivalry in college sports which is Ohio State and Michigan, right? The game as they bid it. So, yeah, I like a Cinderella story. I like Marcus Freeman. I like Sam Hartman. I like Notre Dame in this game. Give me a money line. And I feel good about the Fighting Irish here, especially playing at home, playing at a night game. It's going to be electric. It's going to be electric. So I'm looking forward to this game. And you mentioned win now programs. They're both win now programs. Okay, they both have a reputation to uphold. Ryan Day, he could be on the hot seat. Okay, this could send him into retirement here. So we're pulling for that. We're rooting for the Fighting Irish here, and by no means am I a Notre Dame fan either. But I got to pull for the Fighting Irish here, the gold helmets, and I'm pulling for them. Let me ask you this: if Notre Dame had to align into a conference for, by the grace of God, they aligned with the conference, they made the decision. Okay, yep, we'll do that. We won't be unattached anymore. We're going to jump on board. What conference do they fit the best in? Obviously, and I'm just going to put this out there, the Big Ten seems like an easy fit, at least geographically and competitively speaking. This could even be a conference game, arguably, if the tides were shifted. Where do you see them fitting the best, at least going into 2024 and beyond? Because I think it's just written in the stars for this team to be affiliated with a conference. It needs to happen. I mean, where do they land?
Historically, if you ask anyone this question, anyone that knew anything, I think everyone would say Big Ten Conference. Geographically, of course, fitting, but historically, with what's transpired over time, they just fit there. It's their mold. Look, I'm not a historian or anything like that, but Notre Dame in the Big Ten, that's just how it should line up. They should be there, get it done and over with. Everyone's joining the conference, but Notre Dame's gonna stay in their own league. That's what they do. That's who they are. That's what they're all about. So you asked me the question. I'm gonna spit a spatter with it. I'm gonna tell you how it is. This is gonna be the Big Ten. That's where it should be. That's how it should be. So wouldn't be surprised if it does happen one day. It would be no one else but the Big Ten.
Yeah, that and the fact that really geography has gone out the window as far as conference affiliation is considered. It has gone out the window entirely. So they've said, they've flirted with the ACC, SEC is even an option. Big 12 is a contender. But yeah, I agree. The Big Ten is the most seeming fit for Notre Dame and the Fighting Irish. Will it happen? It's to be determined. So we'll have to see and have to wait and see.
Some remarks about this game here. I mean, look, again, I think pace of the game is very important. I think if you get into a gunslinging match, this should be just a tremendous game. But I think Notre Dame's going to want to control the pace. You're going to want to try to keep Ohio State off the field. They have a really, really good running back in Travion Henderson, and they're going to use him. That guy's going to be their bull. Rather than be trying to open up the passing lanes, trying to get Marvin Harrison into some unique situations. Going to be moving him around the field and whatnot. But this is a great game. I love that this game's at 7:30. It wouldn't be as great if the game was at noon or 3:30. No. 7:30. The lights are on. The gold helmets are glistening. They're shining. Oh my God, Rudy, baby, let's go.
You want to talk about a missed opportunity? It's the production of Rudy merchandise, Rudy jerseys, sweatshirts, hoodies that are licensed by the NCAA and the Fighting Irish and Notre Dame.
That guy's at the game this weekend. He's there. He's team captain. He's going out there for the coin toss.
If they win this game, I might buy a Rudy jersey. Okay, I might buy one.
I'm watching the movie before Saturday comes up. I'm watching the movie tonight, actually.
Yeah, maybe I will too. Got a comment here from Aaron Adams. Says, let's hear Smitty's wail for the weekend. Smitty, take it away.
Smitty's wail for the weekend. Holy smokes. Have you heard of a team by Washington State? I got to tell you right now, that team's fast. That team's quick. Cameron Ward, God, love that team. That's my wail of the weekend. They're underdogs at home. Another great time for the game, 7:30. Going against Oregon State and DJ Ugalele. That guy. Look, couldn't really care for the quarterback. I love Washington State. That's my wail, Aaron Adams. Take them, ride them, love them, enjoy it.
Wazoo, he's riding the Wazoo train. And I gotta admit, I was watching some film recently, and their offense looks electric. They do. So there you have it. All right, that brings us to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for bearing with us. Smitty, I got to ask you, what's your final thoughts going into the weekend, expectations, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, we're finally getting into to the nuts and bolts of the college football season. Starting to get some real matchups. We're finally gonna. I mean, look, we talked about getting to contenders and teams that are ones to look out for. Well, that starts this week. That starts this week with these games. A lot of these games, a lot of these teams are gonna play some competition. That's actually competition. We're not Ohio State playing Western Kentucky and putting up 63. We're not. I mean, holy smokes, we're not Florida State fighting against Boston College. I mean, Jesus, talk about getting slightly exposed, right? So
Definitely,
really, we're getting into it, man. It's the best time of the year with football, and we're getting into the nuts and bolts.
the true colors are showing, just like the leaves will be shortly, and that's just the way of the world. We're excited about it. We're happy that we're getting kind of settled in, and it's hard to argue that we will ever be truly settled in, because before we know it, once we get settled in, once we get comfortable, the season's over. So get settled in as much as possible, but don't get comfortable, because it's going to be gone before you know it. Got to stay on your toes, got to stay anticipating and expecting the worst, but hoping for the best, and just hoping that your teams come out and play. That's really all you really can expect. It's all you can pull for, whether you're a fan of a team, whether you're betting on a team, anything. You're watching a football game, the players got to show up, they got to play the game of football. Period. End of story. So we'll leave it at that. Make sure to check out our website, ginsportsnetwork.com, for all updates, IG posts, and everything Gin. Check us out on IG, ginsportsnetwork.com, and at Gin College for all of our college posts. And we'll see you guys on the waves. Check out our link tree at the bottom of the podcast for all of our links. And until next time, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for tuning into the Gin College podcast. I'm your host, as always, John J. II, here with Brandon Smith. Have a great night.